The party has done some things, and those things have reduced the number of horses available to the party. And we'll talk about that in a second. But if you can see your screen, please put yourself on a horse if you would be riding a horse. Please put yourself on the cart if you would be riding the cart. There's currently one horse free. I don't know if that's intentional or not. And the person towards the front of the cart, where like the reins come back, is the one who will be in charge of driving. So if you have someone who's particularly good at that, I know that Dusk and Joey both enjoy doing that, but I'm not sure if they're particularly good at it. Please put that person there.
I'm actually trained in it, so I'd volunteer to drive the cart.
There we go.
You know, got to learn something in
That's very true. Those in the back of the cart get a bit of a bumpy ride, but can pursue other efforts. And I think there was some potion brewing and other stuff going on.
Mostly I just need to rest.
Mostly just need to rest. So
Telaise just needs to rest.
I don't remember. Did I force you guys to roll the d20 to find out if you successfully rested?
No, not that I know of.
You did not. I don't recall that.
So we should probably start off with that fateful d20 to see how that rest goes. You are actually just getting ready to depart from the boathouse where you rescued Gertrude and Brody from the onslaught of the ogres. Jacques, unfortunately, did not make it, despite the comic value of his name. The ogres were defeated. The party felt a little stronger, managed to salvage some chainmail and other household goods. The household goods were sent back south to Greenest, along with the salvage from the cart that Brody and Gertrude were originally driving. They were so happy to be rescued, they weren't going to argue about where you told them to go, given that you just killed something like 8 ogres in front of them. A little bit of an intimidation factor there. So, I have not seen the stream kick in yet.
I have.
Oh, it's on.
I'm watching.
I'm
Watching
looking at
shenanigans happen.
So,
and let me just say, this overlay is so freaking impressive, guys. Wow.
Excellent. And thank you to the Captain's Reboot for the continued effort to make us look good, despite how hard I make it for others to do so.
Just don't kill us.
Wow, that does look awesome. Thank you, thank you. So, now that I can see and that is going, we will have a few minutes for anybody who would like to purchase things from the Silver Store to do so. And as that chaos begins, let's pass it around and start asking if anyone has any announcements today. We'll start with Valandra. Valandra, any announcements from you?
Nope, none today.
Okay, we'll kick it down to Dawn.
Not currently, nope.
Not currently. Dusk is mute at the moment. She's a hard puncher. That takes a strain on the vocal cords. Dusk, if there's anything you'd like to announce, please go ahead and type it in and we'll get that echoed along. And we'll jump down to Joey. Any announcements on the Joey side?
I just want to give a shout out actually to 20 sides to every story. He's the one that's first on the list on these other awesome great channels. He's currently at Origins Con, which I looked at the event list for it, and it was the most ridiculous spreadsheet I've ever seen in my life. So hope you're having a blast over there, buddy. And also a quick shout out to Shmazing DM as our viewers watch and they kind of see some of these Discord tokens pop up on top of the characters' portraits. You'll see kind of that innovation where we'll see the light up of which character is talking around the actual circle of the character, which you'd think would be easy, but is a lot harder than it looks.
Very fancy.
Very cool. So thank you. And I know, Joey, you did some guest spotting on 20 Sides recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I played the world's most unlucky halfling. It was awesome.
Okay.
Worked out very well.
Excellent. And Chloe, I know you're busily clicking and dragging because I can see it in stream, but any announcements from you?
Please don't like ream me in Twitch chat. I know it's a work in progress, but yeah. Anyway, no, just please don't kill us, Casey. I want to make it to Elturel. Damn it.
That's going to depend on a couple of D20s coming up. But how about Telaise? Any announcements from you?
No, I'm all good.
All right, and we're bringing up the rear here with the Murder Mouse. Waverly, any announcements?
Not tonight.
Not tonight. All right, so let's find out what's going on here. You might have heard some of the recap. Parties defeated some ogres. They are heading to Elturel. They are looking to meet back up with Leosin, who has gifted them with horses and the promise of platinum for their assistance in the matter of the cult. They've been given the name of a knight to ask for, but before they reach Elturel, they've got Scornoble to pass through and a long journey. Still another 3 or 4 days on the road. As I flip over to the map, and boy, I hope that doesn't mess up what Captain Reboot's doing, but we're going to do it anyway. You are just about a day's journey north of Bear Dusk, where the ogres were encountered. Still some ways to go to Scornoble. I've asked the party to set themselves up in their traveling order. That was the other screen you just saw. But now, I need somebody to take the fate of the party into their hands and roll some D20s. There are 2 encounter chances between Bear Dusk and, 3, between Bear Dusk and Scornoble, one of which is already taken up. So if I can have a D20, if I see an 18, 19, or a 20, I get to reveal the things that are hidden on the GM layer of that map we just left. If not, you make it to Scornoble.
It's funny how he phrases that like, yay, I get to reveal these things for you.
Can we find out if we were able to rest before we do that?
So I need that D20. You want to roll low. Ooh, Valandra's bringing it. Wow, I said 18, 19, or 20, right?
Yep.
You
yep,
did.
You did.
Yep.
You did
Okay.
indeed.
Just sliding it under there, arriving a little bit ahead of some troubles to the south. You reach the caravan city of Scornoble. Now, the city is fairly small itself, but built up around it in rings are hundreds and hundreds of small tent enclosures where people are offloading and onloading goods. It is an absolute zoo. The weather's fairly nice. It's getting in towards spring at this point. It's at the intersection of several rivers, so many sets of goods are being loaded onto boats and sent down the river towards Boulder's Gate, others being offloaded from barges that have been pulled up the river. You've got places to be and things to do, but does anyone get distracted? This is a big tent town. What are you guys thinking?
Question quick. How many more days was that on the road for the purposes of figuring out how much we did for healing potions?
Sure. 3 more days on the road, and of course you had the opportunity for a long rest.
Thank
so
God.
Everybody, please recover
Oh, thank goodness.
your hit points and spells.
At my 1 hit point. Jesus.
Valandra and Dawn probably would be looking out for ingredients and foraging.
So please go ahead and add your 5 gold pieces of ingredients for each day, so 15 for the 3 additional days of travel.
It's 5 between the 2 of us, right?
Sorry, 5 each. 5 each.
Oh, 5 each? Okay.
5 each. Yep. When you are gathering, you gather 5 gold pieces worth of stuff. When you are making things, you create 5 gold pieces worth of stuff, but it takes 2.5 to do so. And
Wait, were we gathering, or I thought we were making because we got some herbs back in Greenest.
I thought you guys were making, but you can do whichever
Yeah.
you choose. But add 3 days to that total, and we will take care of the bookkeeping in the Tavern Talk. Right now, let's talk about Scornoble. Big old tent city, lot of folk, whole lot of folk. You getting distracted, or you're right off to Elturel?
I mean, I don't know. I'm good here. Like, I'm good with not looking for other things. I mean, this is like a lot of tents, and it's a lot of people who could be trying to get maybe a little hands-on with our horses and our cart. It's a lot of potential not trustworthy people. So I'm all about team moving on.
He does have the reins, so if he just keeps the horses moving, anybody else objecting?
Not really.
No,
I mean,
if everyone else is going, Dawn's not going to hold anybody up.
All right. So Scornoble, just a distant point behind you. I am going to need 2 more d20s. Again, 18, 19, 20 are the rough ones. There's a 14, that's a pass. There's an 11. Uneventful, surprisingly, after defeating 8 some ogres. It gets a little boring. You're just traveling along. Other carts and wagons matching you, sometimes crossing in the opposite direction, sometimes keeping up, sometimes falling behind. You get that general camaraderie of the road. People passing by, looking at you, turning their heads, watching, looking behind themselves, is that they can't quite understand what they just saw as 2 tabaxi, a mousefolk, 2 half orcs, and a little damp person, along with a seemingly normal looking young woman.
Loudly singing.
Loudly singing. Loudly singing. So it's a unique little caravan that you've created for yourselves there. But after 2 days of travel along the Chauntea River, you come to the outskirts of Elturel, and you can see it quite a ways away. For the last day, in fact, a bright star shines over the city, casting an enormous amount of light. The closer you get, the brighter it is. Even towards evening, as you draw up to the foothills, for the city is built up on a cliff, up a hill, the entire cityscape is illuminated. And as the sun goes down and the warm red and golden light fades, it's replaced by a fairly harsh white light. It casts very sharp shadows. As you draw up to the gates, a number of people move towards you. They're carrying small planks of wood with a leather strap so that it sits out in front of them, creating a small table surface. You can see underneath it's box-like, and several of them have papers sticking out, quills and ink, large lumps of wax, small stamps. They rush towards you. Do you need a litigator? Litgate? Litgate, anyone? Litgate? Anyone a Litgate? Litgate. And Dusk, I believe you've been to Elturel before. And she has. She quickly informs you that the Litgates are in charge of making sure that the laws are obeyed and everyone has the appropriate permits, taxes are paid, that sort of thing, because obviously you wouldn't want to have to deal with the guards and the tax collectors yourself. You want someone knowledgeable to interpret for you. And Dusk is furiously typing. She is bristling Her fur has stood out. She's got the little butt wiggle going on, and her tail's poofed as she looks ready to pounce upon one of those people. However, before she has the chance to pounce, one pounces on her. A young half-orc woman who just Dusk! Woof! And after a bit of a scrabble about, they both recover, and Dusk looks a little confused for a moment, and the half-orc goes, Dusk, it's me, it's Ruby. I made it as a lit gate. Come on, we'll get you through the city. She has the look of a friend of Dusk's, perhaps someone she knew. And Dusk, you do recognize one of the youngsters that you assisted when you were passing through here about a year ago. Oh, honey bun, I'm so proud of you, I think she says. So, Ruby recovers her little desk, her papers, starts filling things out. Now, how many of you are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, and so many horses. And she looks over at Dusk as Dusk's bag sort of kicks out a little bit, reminding folks that there's a kobold in that particular satchel. There's a few minutes of discussion.
That's your home.
Something.
So
What was
as
that?
sorry about that. Sorry, I lost it for a second. As Dusk gives a more paperwork is lined up, presented to the gate guards, and you're escorted inside. Ruby asks, what are you doing back? What are you all doing here? Dusk seems a little hoarse, so she looks to the others.
I don't know about. I mean, I'm just here to see a man about a caravan.
I heard you had a library.
Oh, well, yes, we do. Be happy to get you a library pass. It's very affordable.
We're looking for Sir Onthar Froome.
Oh, Sir Onthar. Well, we'd be happy to get you up to the tavern where the Order of the Gauntlet is.
And Chloe kind of pushes through. Can we go to see the High Hall too, and the High Riders? I heard you got a great tavern with some good beer.
Oh, well.
And she licks
yes,
her hand and straightens her hair.
Well, the Order of the Gauntlet, Onthar, his place, they tend to frequent a pair of Black Antlers. It's a very good tavern, very well known. There's a few other taverns about, but I don't know if you're all really dressed for them. They're a little pricier up in Hightown. But the High House, where the High Rider is, we could certainly swing by and take a look. The Hell Riders themselves, and she gestures over, and you can see patrolling about the outside of the town several mounted warriors. Their horses are amazing. Well barded. They strike the ground with their hooves like they know what they're doing. They're almost on parade. But the people on the back of the horses, similarly well equipped and dangerous looking, with lance, longsword, and bow at the ready.
Chloe will start tugging on like Dusk and Telaise's like shirt or whatever. Be like, oh my god, look, they're right there. Don't they look so cool, guys? But she's like terrible at whispering.
Are you all laughing at her?
Very, very gently.
Okay.
Fondly, fond
Fondly.
laughter.
Do they give tours? What's your friend's name again? Rudy?
Oh, it's Ruby. Ruby, like the gem?
Oh. She pretends to know what that is. Yeah, totally. Ruby, yeah. Do you have like access to all areas of here? I'm new to Torm, but I've heard about Elturel and I'm so excited.
Well, of course, Elturel is. Well, I don't have access to everywhere, but we could certainly look to get the permits. There's passes for some of the houses and some of the tours that can be taken if you wish to petition. Of course, there's a fair number of temples and shrines, several temples to Torm available, and of course, the High Rider himself is of Torm's faith. He's done remarkably well for the city recently.
Yeah. One ticket for all of those, please. I want the whole tour.
Okay. Well, of course. And she starts writing notes and flipping through papers and pulling out, other ones, and some of them are colored different ways and folded different ways. And she starts making all her sets.
You said we're not dressed well enough? We just took baths like 2 days ago. Is that 3 days ago? Something like that.
Been like 5 days on the road for like a little while.
I think it was actually 8 days ago, but yeah.
We could use a bath.
Well, y'all
It's
smell
about the same
wonderful,
thing, right?
So what forms do we have to fill out to have a decent room and a good bath?
Oh well, there's just the matter of the gold really to rent a tavern room or an inn.
Delightful. At least
but-
there's something I don't need a lawyer for.
Oh no, that's the innkeeper will take care of all that for you. He'll ask a few questions: your name, business, how long you intend to stay, and she starts listing off more and more and more details.
Oh,
But it'll be very comfortable. Usually they can get through it while your meal's being prepared. But why don't we go? You said you wanted to meet with Onthar.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I
Certainly.
guess that's what we're supposed to do here.
Well, you're supposed to.
I mean, would like very much to. And she's just kind of looking at the other people like, wait, did I say something I wasn't supposed to say?
Well, no, I just and the caravan you're looking for to join. She looks towards.
I think that's part of what Onthar was going to be talking to us about.
I don't know. They
I'm
look
not
like
quite
that
sure.
one. And she points at Dusk. They're dressed like that, kind of, with sticks, I think. Right? Yeah? Horses like this one? I don't know.
Okay. Well, maybe they'll know more at the tavern. But just this way, and she starts leading you through the town. And the south side of town, which is closer to the river and lower, is noticeably impoverished. Nobody's really well dressed, nobody's really well fed, and a lot of the shops look as though they're only barely opening, not doing a whole lot of business. As you move up the town to the north and you climb a high cliff, you reach the higher parts of town and the higher class of people. There, Ruby leads you to a large tavern that at this time of evening is quite animated. You can hear music, you can hear shouting, laughter, the clank of mugs, the pop of wine bottles, the thunk of beer, and then about half of the contents of the tavern come spilling out into the street as a good 10 to 15 people are engaged in, we're going to say, a good-natured brawl. but they're trying pretty hard to pin one another.
Well,
Would
this
you
looks
like
like
to
a fun place.
Get them! Hold them down. Hold you down.
And Dawn is just gonna side up to Ruby real quick and just be like, "Can you simply just point me in the direction of the library and I'll figure it out myself?"
Oh, certainly. And she pulls out the direction giving sheet and starts filling out the form for giving directions, and then presents you with the form.
What is this town?
Are we
I,
gonna
I think
ha-
I
are we
think the
gonna have
answer to
another
that is lawful.
That is lawful.
Are we gonna have another paperwork cliffhanger?
This could be leading to a paperwork cliffhanger. Who knows? But at the moment, just in front of you, a good 10 to 15 folk are engaged in sport. Beer gets poured on more than one as a distracting tactic. It seems like the audience becomes the participants at any given moment. And Dusk sort of leans over to you and says, "Good to see things haven't changed." After a few moments, a man that has at least two others trying to keep him down bursts upwards. Ooh. I'm hungry. And then he starts heading back inside. Oh, that was on Thar.
How many forms does he have to fill out to do all that?
Well, I believe everyone involved is in the order themselves. Just a moment, and she starts looking. Signia. So that would be, I think it's either 73 or 74 when they form the order to allow for brawling and contest within. It would depend upon what
And
the
Telaise
result.
just stops her from talking by reaching out, just taking her face in both hands and bringing her real close and goes, "You live in a very strange place." And then just lets her go.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure she knew where you were going with that until you started talking. She did blush quite a bit though, and she's like, we can go ahead in. We're not wearing insignia, so unless you issue a contest, we're relatively, mind your footing. Makes her way inside. Now the tavern does have stables available to it, and people quickly rush out to take your horses.
How many forms do we have to fill out for this?
The tavern keeper will take care of it, like I said, while dinner's being prepared. It'll be a few.
I'm so sorry Telaise is going to be a troll about this the entire time. This is insanity.
Yeah, it is insanity. Go right ahead.
It is. But yes, there always seems to be paperwork and stamps and signatures and little emblems for just about everything. Exchange of chits, pieces of pre-prepared paper. Now, several of them for the more common transactions are reusable, it seems. It's just they hand the piece of paper, they hand the piece of paper back. But the piece of paper or parchment is always handed.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. It's called recycling, right? Where you use the thing over and over. No, guys, no, we seen that. The turtle liked doing that, right? Glum fellow, he liked recycling. So many orphans, you gotta. I mean, not orphans. Sorry, moving on. We're better people now.
And as you make your way, I assume, inside the tavern?
Yep.
All right.
That's where Anthar went, right?
Anthar is inside the tavern. He is drinking and joking and pointing outside. Did you see? Still a few of them out there. Now they'll make it back in. No? You didn't see. I did all that and you didn't see. Hang on. He looks around. You there! How do you feel about a brawl? And he's pointing at you lot.
Bring it on!
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's not as much fun when you're not doing it in a
Torm!
square of fire.
Torm, love me. Where did that come from? Your knees speak.
Down here! Down here! I'll fight you!
Waverly.
What sort
What?
of boots do you wear? Waverly, is it? Oh. Well said. What's your contest of choice? I'd say darts, but I don't think throwing you would be entirely fair. No? Okay.
There's going to be no throwing of me.
We just got her back. Please don't throw her away.
Well then, arm wrestling, and he sort of puts his arm down, like his elbow to fingertips, probably about the size of the mouse.
Yeah, that's probably not going to work.
Thumb wrestling.
Thumb wrestling.
Thumb wrestling if it's my whole arm versus your thumb. I think that's fair.
Fair. But we each must first drink a tankard.
Can I have an appropriately sized tankard?
You're smarter than I look. So, an appropriately sized tankard is found and clunked down in front of you, and one is fucked down in front of Anthar. He takes his up.
Waverly will do the same. Glug, 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 glug.
All right, and please roll me 1d20. Well done. You receive a +6 on your strength check. Anthar gets a -1.
Ooh.
Dang.
All right. So as he takes off his gauntlet, thunks his big arm down, holds his thumb up. It is calloused and gnarled, but quite strong looking. Please roll me a strength check and add 6 to it.
All right.
Waverly.
So it's going to be 7!
Wow. All right. So
Oh god.
there's still a very good chance here. With the -1 and the strength adjustment, we've got a total of a +2 on this d20. Let's see it, Onthar.
Oh!
He makes a good show of it. He lets you bend it back a little bit. He brings it forward. And oh no, she's gonna get me. Oh, goosh. Well done. Well done. Certainly worth the drink. Who are you? What are you doing here? I don't recall ordering entertainers, but are always welcome.
Well, I'm Waverly, and this is the Sovereign 7 who's with me, and we're here looking for you.
Are you? Well, that's an impressive name. I've rarely met such a dignified name amongst a troop, but I am Sir Anthar Froom. I lead the Order of the Gauntlet here, and welcome to... It's not my tavern, but I'll affectionately refer to it that way. A pair of black handlers is one of the best in town, and there are few I'd rather drink at. What can I do for you?
Do you know a monk called Leosin?
I do. Not sure that he's hiring at the moment, but I suppose I could pass it along. Monks are an austere lot. I don't think your entertainments would find much home there.
No, we were already working for him. He left word that we should, that we should talk to you to get in touch with him once we got here.
Oh, you're the orphans.
Well, formerly known as, yes.
Ah, I wasn't aware you could formally be an orphan. I only thought you could formally not be an orphan. I suppose that makes a bit of sense. But well enough. Certainly, we'll let Leosin know you're here. He arrived just a few days ago. I'm sure he's about. In the meantime, you look like you're fresh from the road. A bit of dust and debris about you. Enjoy yourself. Have some drink. Have some food. Can I offer you anything?
Well, you got any weight in this town here? We're trying to get into all the cool tours before we have to go and, do Leosin's bidding, whatever that may be.
Okay, well, she wants all the cool tours. I want an ale. I mean, you know.
Well, I mean, yeah, I thought he was going to buy us around. No?
Oh yes, of course, of course. A friend of Leosin's, around, of course, yes. You all drink beer, yes?
Of course.
Ah, good. Some of Leosin's
Naturally, says the 14-year-old.
some of Leosin's friends, they're a little tea-ish, if you know what I mean.
I mean, I've never heard that phrasing before, but I get your context.
Well, at least you know. Well, enjoy yourselves. I have some business to attend to, and he looks outside where the scrap's still going on. If anyone cares to join me, just make them aware that you're, honorary, whatever they need for their paperwork. A little less interesting than the fight, but I'll be back.
Gotcha. And Chloe will turn to the bartender and be like, that guy said that whatever we want is on his tab. And then she'll nudge Valandra. Go ahead, drink up.
Now, as beer and wine are fairly plentiful and normally fairly weak, you have had a reasonable amount in the past. This is not a reasonable grade of beer. This is thick. So, glurgle, 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 glurgle. Shove.
When we say heavy, are we saying like heavy, like more alcoholic than it's supposed to be, or like it's a meal in a mug?
A little bit of both.
Excellent.
This is a let's say dwarven brew.
Sounds good. Waverly is up for that.
Yep.
So
Is that
Little
all they
mouse
have?
slice for beer, I guess.
Is that all they
there you
have?
go. Well, it's not all we have. What else can I get for you?
Do you have anything
And-
lighter?
Oh, we have some of the lightest. It's a nice lilt you have there. Did you have something in mind?
Like wine?
Oh, wine. Well, sure, you have some wine.
Something red, something sweet.
And he sort of looked at you for a moment. He's like, "Oh, I should have said your lips. I thought of it just a moment too late. But give me a moment. I'll find the wine." And he ducks below, and he comes back up, and he has a bit of a wine bottle, and gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. There you are.
Thank you.
Now it's an elven variety, so it's a little fruit heavy. If that's a bit much, let me know.
I can manage. Thank you. And yes, she was absolutely turning on the charm right there.
He's a decent-looking fellow for a barback. He's obviously one of the order, so a good enough scrapper. Though he looks a little unscarred to be one of the true fighters of the group. Now then, I did overhear that you were to have a round. I don't recall Onthar saying anything you want. So, past this, we'll need the coin, and then Onthar can repay you if necessary. And reroll purchase for the DM. All right. And as the alcoholic beverages are lined up in front of you and the row is going outside, anything you guys would like to do other than drink up, eat up, and get a good night's sleep?
How late in the evening was this?
It's getting towards evening, and as you look around thinking about that, it's really hard to tell because it is bright outside.
Because, like, before, like, Dawn would have just run off to the library the first moment he had a chance, unless
Sure.
it was, like, super late and
Absolutely.
everyone was going to sleep. But
And as you start taking off to the library and thinking about everybody going to sleep, it doesn't look like anyone's going to sleep. The whole city looks a little confused about what time it is. Some shops look like they're just opening. Other shops look like they may never close. The library itself doesn't seem to have closed its doors in quite some time. A lot of people have those bags under their eyes that this may be a city that never sleeps thanks to an ever-present sun overhead. But what are you looking for at the library?
he is going to be like generally wherever he goes, he's looking for like lore and information on undead, specifically like liches and vampires and stuff like that. There might not like because he's figuring like not everywhere is going to have like a lot of information, but like it's possible there could be something stuck somewhere, so he's
Sure.
willing to look.
Absolutely.
And if there are any bookstores open, or I'm not sure if it would be a bookstore, but just kind of looking around for alchemical what's the word I'm looking for?
Formula?
Formulas, recipes, ideas, stuff like
Sure.
that.
Absolutely. So you do head off to the library, and once you arrive at the library, yeah, what do you want?
I would like access to your library.
Do you have your library card?
I'm here to find out how to get one. I'm just arrived.
You'll need to fill out Form 42B.
Point me in the right direction, and I'll do whatever you need me to.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Speak up. I'm a little deaf in 3 ears.
Do you have these forms, or is there somewhere else I need to go?
You can get Form 42B from the library.
Then may I have one?
Can I have your library card?
I'm attempting to get one.
Well, then you'll need Form 42B.
I twitch.
Make a bureaucracy check.
Diplomacy. Which doesn't exist anymore.
Persuasion,
What would-
deception,
what would-
anything you like. What are you trying to do? Now, I hear Valandra in the background.
He
Did she wander along after beer in hand?
No.
Aww.
Well,
He does.
actually, yeah.
Is there I know I might need like a perception check for this to like if he can glance around, see if there is a library card or someone with a library card, so he can get an idea of what it looks like. Unless there's like a display, like get your library, like.
No, they don't have the get your library card here. However, if you wait for a few minutes, someone going by may have to display their library card. As you're waiting, however, Valandra is wandering up behind. And let's go ahead and call that. Give me a perception check and beat a 10 to catch sight.
Nope.
Of a library card. Now, Valandra, you just wander up and be like, what's she doing? Dawn. Yeah. You hear someone comes up and you're like, yes, I'm here to get in the library. Can I see your library? Here you go. Thank you. And it's a small packet of papers that when opened up has a small card inside with a bunch of writing on it.
So it's like a whole packet of stuff, and
Yep.
she touches it.
She does not touch it. He shows it to her.
Okay, so minor illusion.
Okay.
and he will create one matching. He'll do something similar and like show her.
Okay. No problem. Let's see. What would you consider that? Performance or deception? How would you like to slide this
Deception,
one
very
by?
likely.
Okay. She's not amazing at her job, but she's not horrible either. I was wrong. She's amazing at her job.
Ooh.
I'm going to need a 22
That's
on
not
this
fair.
on this deception. I will give you a moment or two to consider all your angles.
I cast
before you-
guidance.
That's a good call. That's a good call. So please go ahead and tell me any other things you might be doing before you roll that deception check.
He will like have it displayed like just long enough, quote unquote.
Okay.
Like not like have it sitting out there, but just like, look, I have a library card, long enough for her to tell that it's a library card, and whatever else needs to be on it with his name and whatever.
Sure, you're going for the wallet flip, like get it down there, get it back up real quick,
Yeah.
put it away.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else we'd like to say?
Like, and he'll clear his throat. He's like, never mind, I
Yes.
found my card. I don't need the forms, and he'll flip it and show her.
All right, let's see it.
Hopefully.
Add a
Ooh.
D4.
Oh,
Add a
Add a
D4.
D4.
hold on, I'm getting there. Please.
Oh, no.
You didn't fill out your paperwork, Wazowski. And apparently that's a code word of some sort as guards start to converge.
Oh, God.
He's not going to look worried. And he's like, then where do I get the proper paperwork?
Please show me your card again.
And he'll do it again.
All right. At disadvantage. Please beat. Oh my God! Yes, I think she's on to you.
Yeah, I don't think
Okay,
I don't think you can.
This isn't my first day on the job.
It's the battle of whose glasses are thicker and can see more.
I cast guidance again.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna matter
No,
much, but
I don't
hopefully.
think it's gonna matter. Because if
Valandra's
he's at
drunk
disadvantage,
guidance.
even if I roll a crit, it's not gonna matter.
You can roll 2 crits.
You
Possible.
could dual crit, sure. These things sometimes happen.
But they don't.
But
Yeah,
they
no.
didn't. All right. As several of the Hell Riders are called over, she gestures toward you. She has a bad library card. Please issue the appropriate fines.
She's refusing to give me the proper forms that she said I needed.
What? 42Bs?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to get them from the library.
Isn't that where I am?
Well, from inside the library. They don't paste them outside. That would be ridiculous. They'd get ruined in the rain. Now, let's see here.
This is all outside. It's not like actually in the library.
You're in the
Foyer.
vestibule, the foyer. She's kind of, at a small desk behind some transparent material of some sort. Big hair. Now, let's see here. Would you please show me the card you do have?
I don't have a card. I'm trying to get a card.
And what were you showing her?
Nothing.
Literally nothing.
Oh my
look at that! All right, let's see how that one goes.
No! This is not fair!
Uh-huh.
And then Dawn is
Nothing, huh?
arrested for trying to break into a library. The end.
He's trying to get a library card. That's all he's trying to do.
And this is a martial man. He is armored, he is armed, and he just tilts his head and looks at you. He's like, can I get a lit gate? And like 3 pop out of the ground like gophers. No, they start running over to him. The first one, he's like, you there? All right. I'm going to need a fine written up. They have no mitigating evidence, so the maximum fine must be incurred. What is the maximum
Can
fine?
you answer me a question?
Yes.
I am supposed to get a library card. Yes. I need this form to get the library card. To
Yes.
get into the library, I need a card.
Yes.
But the form to get the card is in the library.
Obviously.
Then how am I supposed to get the form?
Well, most people would have a Litgate Fest one for them. If you really wished to do it yourself, you'd need a separate form.
I was not. Then. You know what? Never mind.
Now then, Litgate. What's the total fine? 36 gold coins. There we are. Now, have you money to pay?
Yes.
36 gold.
To who?
To the city, obviously. I'll be collecting it, though.
How do I know it's going to go to the right place if I give it to you?
Yes, well, Litgate, do me a favor, add insulting a Hell Rider to the fee. Yes, 40 gold then.
Damn it, Dawn. If your fines keep us from going on all the rides, the tours, I'm going to be really upset.
And he will give 40 gold and just plot revenge.
And the Litgate signs off the receipt, bunch of papers change hands. The Hell Rider takes the money, wraps it up in coins, makes a little penny roll out of it, twists the ends, seals it with wax, stamps it, sign, in triplicate, and then
In triplicate.
yes. It's very important. Now then, perhaps you'd like to hire Litgate to go fetch the appropriate form, the 42B, or several of them do carry it on them, though the library is not as popular as it once was. I feel it's a sign of the times. fewer people read these days.
Probably because they can't get in.
If it's getting late, he's just gonna turn and walk away.
Alright. Now, Valandra, is there anything else that you would like to do at this point?
Valandra will probably approach a lit gate and ask for a couple of the forms so he can give one to Dawn later.
Sure, absolutely.
can-
A 42B. I don't happen to have one, but just a moment. Stay right here. And they hare off towards the library. They show their card and in through, come back out with a stack of papers and wave a torch. That'll be 3 copper.
Okay. I did say a couple. Did he get a couple
He
of
got
them?
he got you 3.
Okay,
which-
awesome.
And 3 sometimes a couple, unless you
Uh,
request.
Does he have change for a silver? Because all
Oh.
I have is silver.
And he takes the silver. He tucks that away. He gives you the 7 copper.
Okay.
Along with
will-
your receipt
Okay.
showing 1 silver, 7 copper, 3.
I will thank him. And
Of course, anytime. Remember to ask for me,
what was your name?
Giuseppe.
Okay. And then Valandra would actually like to see if she could find a shop that is selling what is it I need for that? Ruby dust.
Ruby dust. There are several shops and they do sell things. Please give me, let's call that an investigation. And your DC is only a 10.
Okay. Da-da-da. Nope.
Womp. No ruby dust apparently. A couple of rubies, but none dusty.
How hard are rubies to grind into dust?
Fairly difficult. They're rocks. I
Yeah.
mean, it can happen, but usually you need a jeweler's toolery. I'm gonna invent science at the moment. Let's say like a diamond-studded grindstone.
Only
or-
diamonds are harder in nature.
Yeah. So
Google for the rescue.
Google, there we go. So yeah, they make a diamond chainsaw of some sort, or they just like, hey, Earth Elemental, do me a favor and squish this.
Okay.
So, but they're happy to sell you a sizable ruby if the gold is right.
Yeah.
For
No,
investigation, you know, advance.
Yeah. She'll head back to the inn without buying any.
All right.
And maybe ask someone to help her find
So-
some later.
As those two were out wandering about, time has passed. Beers have been drunk. Food can be purchased at reasonable rates, and it's fairly good food. The crowd at the pair of Black Antlers is boisterous. Fights and strength contests, darts, dagger throwing, javelin throwing when the barkeep isn't looking. All these things tend to happen. Waverly has been challenged to many an arm wrestling contest, but they insist, given how mighty the row was with Onthar, that a full-size tankard must be drunk before the fight by both parties. Anyone doing anything else that we should be aware of?
After Dawn gets back, and he's just going to sort of like smack Dusk upside the head and just be like, "We were traveling for how many days, and you didn't warn us about what the city is like. You didn't tell any of us. You find this funny, because I do not."
Look, I tried to block out the memory.
Yeah.
You're lucky I don't make you pay me back.
That and I hoped it had changed.
People don't change.
Ooh. Sweet pea, I did tell you to mind the sass. I cannot do that accent, Dusk. I'm sorry. I need a volunteer.
Oh, sweet pea, I did tell you to mind the sass.
There we go.
I think Valandra will wait till tomorrow to give Dawn the paperwork when Dawn is possibly in a better mood.
That may be a wise tact to take. So, any other activity before we cycle to? We're gonna say morning, but the light just doesn't change around here.
So, I'm so sorry because I have to do this to the character,
Yep.
Casey. So, anything that is there anyone around the tavern that would strike her fancy? As we have discussed.
Are you into burly, well-traveled men of strength and valor?
Yes.
Yes. These are exactly that sort, with one exception. The sway in their walk is from horses rather than boats.
That's fine.
So it's more of a horizontal than a vertical sway.
Beggars can't be choosers. She's going to spend most of the evening basically casting the net, seeing who wants to buy your drinks. She'll sing some songs, dance to some tunes, invite some gentlemen to buy her things. And towards the end of the evening, she talks about, gosh, I truly need a bath. Does anyone have a room that I could possibly use? And the prettiest one gets it.
Fair enough.
And she's not coming. She won't be back until tomorrow morning.
let's see how well that net is cast, because these are competitive folk. And the moment you start casting your net, you realize there's a couple of other nets in the water, and some sharks as well. So let's see, perhaps a performance, persuasion. How do you cast your net?
Well, first, she would spend some time entertaining the folk so
Ooh.
that her enthralling performance would incite people around her to enjoy her company a little bit more.
Well done. All right. What type of performance is it? Singing, playing, poem?
Oh, she starts to sing, encouraging, because there was already a band playing, encourages them to pick up the tune. And then, because she chose a lively little ditty, she danced as well.
All right. So let's go ahead and see performance, I would say.
It's a decent score.
That is a decent score. Let's find out how many competitors you pull up from the ranks. Only two seem interested in stepping up at the moment. Let's see how they do. One's matching you almost step for step, but it's a little bit imitative. You know, you're setting the steps, she's just following along. The other one, not so hot. But they are both trying with roars of approval. Others are dancing and taking part as well. But you've pretty much identified, those two. Those are the ones you got to beat. Where are you headed from here, now that you have some attention?
Oh, goodness. Now that I've got some attention. These are my competitors that you're saying?
These are your competitors. They've seen women come into the bar and try and, gather up the troops. Some of these are brothers, some of these are lovers, but they don't really like the newcomers showing off quite so much.
Okay. All right. Let's see. What else can I do? Interesting.
Five,
Um,
4,
So
3,
the
2,
hey,
1.
I'm talking.
Okay.
Quit counting down when I'm talking, dude. That's not fair. All right. So with my enthralling performance, I'm
Mhm.
going to pick out 4 of the people that are closest to me that I think that I would like,
Mhm.
and they need to make a DC check against my spell or be charmed by me.
20 charmers.
They need to beat a
Let's see it.
14.
14 is the go. Now, are either of the competitors or either of the women in those you're trying to charm, or are you going straight for the targets?
Oh, I'm going straight for the targets. I don't care about them. I just want to go. I just want to go to bed with someone.
Fair enough. How about half and half? Two fall for your charms. The other 2, they may have seen a bit of magic before. These are fighting folk.
They have no idea that it happened.
Oh, they have no idea. Never mind. They're just like, meh. Beer. So, with that, as you start weaving your spell and casting it, the woman who was keeping pace with you but not going out goes, "Oh, sure you can dance, but can you drink?" And she pulls out a big bottle, takes a big slug, and hands it to you.
All right.
So she's going to go big. She's going for about 5 shots. So 1d20 minus 5. She needs a 10 or better. Ooh! She does not look sober. It takes the few seconds to hit bottom and spread out, but there's not a lot of sobriety left by the time she's done. Are you attempting to match the volume that she drank? A little more, a little less?
Could I possibly do sleight of hand to do a little less, but seem like I'm doing the same?
Ooh, cheating. I like cheating. Let's call that. Now you've got onlookers. You've got 4 people watching that you're 4 targets. Let's see what the bar is. Ooh.
Ooh.
You have garnered their interest, but that's also going to make it a little harder to cheat. I'm going to need that sleight of hand. If you can top a 20, then any that you top it by, you get to drink that much less. If you fail, if you go lower, they're going to expect you to drink more. So let's see some drinking rolls.
So do you just need the one? Or
Just
how many
so
do you-
just one. So I just need one sleight of hand from you. You can use any tricks that you'd like, but the sleight of hand will set how much credit they give you for what you're drinking.
Okay. Cool. This will work.
Wowzers, crushing it. So
I didn't even have to use a luck.
you can drink 3 less shots. So just a -2 to your Constitution saving throw. Constitution saving throw at a -2. So you need to get a 8 or better on your Constitution saving throw.
Okay. 8 or better on Constitution saving throw.
8 or better on a Constitution saving. Oh yeah, you make it look easy. And from the like shots, and then your competitor goes over. She's like, "What? No, no, I'm fine."
You sure
Somebody
you're
put
fine?
the floor. Yeah, somebody put the floor on the wall. I'm fine.
So, I can dance, I can sing, I can drink. Anything else?
Well, I've got a challenge for you. Come on upstairs.
Oh, I bet.
So things happen. We'll just off screen.
She gets her bath.
does indeed get her bath. And whoop, out of there. Anybody else passing entertainments of any sort?
Are there other drinking competitions happening?
There are
Tavern?
quite a few drinking competitions happening. Do you have a particular flavor of drink that you would like to compete with?
Beer or ale, just general.
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and set the scene for me? What are you doing?
She's just gonna look around and already had a couple beers and stronger stuff that she's used to, but she's in the big city with all of her friends and siblings essentially, and it's just excited, and she's kind of riding the wave of high on life a little bit and on alcohol. And she's just gonna look around and see who else is having a good time and go over and see if they're open for someone joining them.
Sure, absolutely. So there's several groups drinking at this point, competitively, we'll say. One group is playing a game of some sort. It seems to be a penalty drinking game. Keep your finger on your nose, tug on your ear, point with your elbow, don't say certain words, and if you fail, you drink. Others just have huge steins in front of them, and it looks like they're racing to the bottom. That one is fairly popular, but people tend to have to excuse themselves after a game or two. Which suits your fancy? Are we going for a game or just hammer it?
No, I think she's just gonna go for hammering it.
All right. So how tall are you again?
That
Rough number.
is a good
Short?
question.
Short, right?
Yes. Yeah, pretty short.
Okay. You pull yourself up there. Whoa.
Also, yeah, she is 14, so that's not exactly a secret.
Does she belong to anyone? She allowed to drink? All right. Wow, you got some trouble making friends. They didn't say a word.
14 is old enough to drink, right?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And she's non-human, so she's even got that going for her.
Right?
So
Once again, Waverly is 6, so
Waverly is 6. So, boom, tankard set down in front of you. Now, what you do, he explains. You drink till you can wear it as a hat.
Okay, she'll down it.
All right. Any skill involved other than just trying to drink it?
Can I can I make a medicine check to choose the proper pace to drink it? Not too fast, but not, I don't know.
No, you know what? I will go with that. Let's see it.
26.
Wow. Yes. So you know that if you don't turn the boot at the end, you'll get a bubble, and then it'll go wrong and splash all over you. You understand the science behind it, how to get your throat open and pour down. So go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw at advantage. But we're setting the bar at. Ooh, these guys are lightweights. Only an 11, 8, and 3. Good Lord. So they're like, oh, clerk, 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 clerk. You're like, and then all 3 of them just spray at one another as they like, what just happened? And that's exactly.
She will daintily put it on her head as a hat.
and just like silence just sort of spreads around you, and then you hear, and like 2 seconds later, you're up on everybody's shoulder, getting paraded around like. Yeah, they like you.
Okay, cool.
They offer you another stein.
Yeah.
Victory stein. Can I see one more Constitution saving throw with the advantage, please?
Any negative from having done the first one, or is that
Nope, not yet. The negative kicks in once it settles.
20?
20. You may not remember much of the rest of the night.
Okay.
So, but it's going well. So Valandra's being carted around by the drinking crowd. Waverly tried but did not impress the wrestling folk. Telaise is off somewhere, impressing folks, I'm sure, or at least one person. Everyone else, Dawn's looking a little grumpy. I think
He always looks grumpy. But it's like
it is a little grumpy saying.
it's a little more than normal.
You do get offered your free beer when you arrive. You're part of the group. Oh, Onthar bought your group around. Here you are.
He'll slide it over to Dusk or whoever's nearby.
Well, suppose it's yours to do with what you want. Can I get you something else?
No, thank you.
Oh, well. How charming.
It's polite.
Fair enough. Give me a quick charisma, if you would.
Just straight charisma?
Just a straight charisma. Just a let's see. Yeah, okay. Yeah. This isn't a super polite kind of place. You might have picked up on that theme. So being polite in this place is a little off-putting, but you're not too fierce about it. Now, Chloe, Joey, I haven't heard from you, I think. And occasionally you get looks because you seem like the sort that should be more directly involved in the ongoings.
Are you talking about the drinking?
The drinking, the fighting.
It's a little racist. I'm just saying.
You have the build and the tusks.
Just because I can drink doesn't mean I can't help others. No, I think Chloe would just be too excited, like shiny new, looking around, doe eyes at everything, going, I can't wait. I got to get a good night's sleep. I got to get everything. Do you have any brochures? like, do you know?
Oh boy, do they have brochures.
She takes one of all of them. She's got like a big stack that she's going through while she cheers Valandra on.
They have brochures like you would not believe. Now, each one is hand-drawn and illustrated, so they do expect them to be returned, and there's a small form and a small fee and deposit. Of course, that gets refunded to you with another small form and a small fee. But they do provide you with lovely artistic renderings.
The original small fee gets refunded if you fill out another form and pay another small fee.
Of course.
Is that what I heard there?
That's exactly what happens. Yes. Yes, that's the refund fee.
Is it the same size as the original one, or is it a bit smaller?
It depends on your lit gate. They do have some authority to negotiate the various fees that they charge. Now, Ruby is doing you the best possible deal that she can. Other lit gates maybe increasing certain fees slightly. You guys have that wide-eyed, uninitiated look, I think. At least some of you do, having downed 2 tankards nearly the size of your torsos. But
yeah, I looked it up. I did have it written down. She's 5 feet even. So
5 feet. Yes, you're a petite little water monster. Joey, did I hear? Are you getting into trouble?
No, I'm actually doing the opposite. I'm actually
Okay.
explicitly not getting into trouble. I'm eating a second meal because you never know when you're on the road if you're going to get a nice, good one or if you're going to get shit. And I'm just more or less just watching this room because it seems extremely different from the entire rest of this city.
Yes. So
Joey's the designated driver.
he did drive the cart. It's
Yep.
important. It's important. There's a lot of forms if you don't have one of those. There's only a few if you do. But time does pass. Lodging is found for you. And in the morning, anyone? In the morning, a young man comes to fetch you. I am Onthar's squire. If you could come with me, please. He'd like to talk to you, and I think your friend Leozen is there as well.
Is Valandra hungover, or is she pretty good?
Probably a little. I'll leave that to your discretion. You do have some healing magics and some alchemical abilities, so you could get rid of most effects. But I mean, you wake up with that taste in your mouth.
Okay.
Everyone else gathering up and heading in.
Yep.
Yeah, I would have put some of the brochures back. That's like,
Uh,
oh, I
so-
don't need this one anymore.
So you are refunded for some of your brochures. You gain others. It comes out to a net loss of about 5 copper.
So is this what a library's like?
Oh, would you like to go to the library? I have several of the 42Bs.
Well, do they have, like, are the books bigger than these, the brochures?
Oh yes, it's magnificent.
No, I'm fine, thank you. I'm good. I'm still getting through this stack here.
Dawn is just like bristling. Like, he likes to think that he is calm and cool and collected, and most of the time he is, but in reality he has about as much chill as his sister.
Dawn, didn't you go to the library? Didn't you get, I don't see
No.
any books. You want to borrow some of my books? I got like 6 of these brochures.
No,
I don't know
thank
who
you.
they're written by, and she'll turn them upside down and back and forth. I don't know. I don't think it's a good story, but no. Okay, you read this one. That's fine.
Someone has to go get Telaise because she's not ready.
Who did she go home with? Did anybody see who she went home with?
One of the pretty
Valandra
ones,
might
I
have,
think.
but she doesn't remember.
It was more of an upstairs and then a downstairs and then an upstairs and then a landing and then the downstairs and then upstairs once more. There was a lot of movement involved.
Yeah,
Clo-
you hit that girl.
But eventually, the party is recovered. Who goes on Telaise fetching duty, by the way?
I'll go get her. If somebody knows where she's at, yeah, I'd go get her.
Oh yeah, they're just like you didn't
Just
hear.
wander the hallways screaming
Like-
her name.
Telaise, you see her? She's about this tall, bright blue. No? Okay. Thanks. Go back to sleep. Hello? Do you have a Telaise?
Like from downstairs, you hear, "I heard her name being yelled all night. Give me a break already."
Yeah. Yeah, that happens a lot. Where are you? Marco.
Yep, lost it.
Oh.
Telaise, would you like to appear? You're being summoned.
Eventually, Chloe gets like in the proper hallway and is calling her name, and this door opens and Telaise is there, kind of wrapped in a sheet, just leaning on. It's like, "Yes, darling. What can I do for you?" And she looks fine, like she's been awake for hours. Very rosy cheeked, very happy.
They got a makeup store down the street, you know, and she's just flipping through her brochures. You know, they sell all sorts of paints. You're not even dressed. Go get some clothes on. Come on, we're all getting ready to go. Say goodbye to your little toy.
He's asleep now.
Oh, good. That's how you like him.
Only when I'm leaving. And she shuts the door and give her about 10 minutes. Then she'll be ready.
Chloe will shout that down the stairs to everybody else. She needs 10 minutes to get dressed. She's naked.
Are any of us surprised? I highly doubt it.
So 10 minutes plus a few later, Froom's Onthar Froom's squire shows you into a private space off the tavern's common room. He closes the door behind you as he's leaving. Waiting for you in the room is Onthar himself, a large, broad-shouldered man in armor. Leozen is there as well. He looks rail thin next to Onthar. There are a plethora of pitchers of dark red wine. Onthar's face is fairly serious, a little contrasty to what you've seen him before, though he is still working his way through a cup of wine and then down, refills, starts on the next one. Would you like some wine?
Yeah, now, not if you're going to be telling me what's actually going on here. I actually like to be able to listen.
No. I find wine clears the head. But we do have important business to discuss. At this point, you know almost as much about it as I do. And thanks to you, we know twice as much today as we did a 10-day ago. Leozen, are you entirely certain this speech is never mind. Something rotten is afoot. We have no formal organization to oppose this rascally cult of the dragon. Not yet, anyway. We're working on that. We need people like you who know how and when to fight, and how and when to keep their heads down, and how to observe and report back. We can't promise you anything except long days filled with danger and stress, and Leozen, really? And he tosses aside the notes. Well, it's adventure, it's money, good times, challenges, death, daring, and do. Are you ready? He sort of looks between. Leozen, these are the ones you mentioned. Leozen pipes up. You do get paid.
It nods across the whole group. Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, we ain't got no inheritance to go for, so we kind of need the money.
What Onthar is trying to convey? I am a member of the Harpers, and he shows a small harp-shaped medallion that he wears. Onthar represents the Lord's Alliance. Our two groups work to protect the Sword Coast. The Lord's Alliance a little more openly, we the Harpers a little more clandestinely. The cultists have been increasing in number. In fact, there have been 2 or 3 groups making trouble recently. The Cult of the Dragon that I asked you to pursue seem to be working more and more openly. We think they're planning something big, but it will take some time for us to work through the paperwork. You may have encountered some of that already. Onthar is doing a wonderful job of encouraging the city to relinquish some of their more repetitive requirements.
I knew I liked him.
But it will be some time before that's accomplished. If I could hire you in the meantime to pursue the cultists, find out what they're doing and where they're taking all of these goods and spoils. We've seen some sign of it passing through town. The carts and some of the men I recognized moving west. They got a bit too good of a look at me to do this myself, but I'm hoping those that got a look at you weren't as clear. Do you think you could be convinced to assist us?
Oh, so you're saying they recognize your face?
Well, they did have me naked and tied to a stake for
More
some
than just
time.
your face. Got it.
Yes. I'm afraid my attempts at seduction might reveal me.
So, assisting you, what exactly do you think that's going to entail? Just keeping an eye on them, or what? Do we get the horses for free? Because that sounds like we should get some horses for free for doing that, to trail them. I mean, we can't be walking up and down the Sword Coast.
What have you done with the horses we already gave you?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Gave us those horses. Yes, sorry. No, I forgot about the giving of the horses.
Oh.
Well, there was the two that we gave to the people that we rescued from the ogres, and
Chloe conveniently forgets that.
Ogres? What ogres?
there's like 10 ogres on the way here, and we
I
killed
remember
most
the
of them.
ogres. Did they eat the horses?
10 ogres? My. How did you ever do against them? And all of a sudden you've got Onthar's attention again. And his head's just
They're dead
side
now.
to side. Well, obviously, or you wouldn't be here, but how? Pitched battle? Archers? Lance? No, you don't do lance. You look the magic type, but you... What's that thing you're carrying? And his eyes sort of go up. What is Cyanrath's wings shape currently?
Well, I haven't moved it from halberd, so we're gonna go ahead and assume that's halberd.
You look a martial sort. Tell me. I haven't been against ogres in ages.
Well, first we had a nice forest funnel, and then we disabled 2 of the ogres
Yeah.
with some magical means, and then I believe we blindly rushed the other 4. That sounds about right.
Well, sometimes heroic tunnel vision. Yes. Excellent, excellent.
Yeah, I'm nodding, and I'm also really rolling my eyes at heroic tunnel vision. Ugh, what a dwarf.
So, Leos as well. Onther. And Dusk pipes up that she punches things. Well, do you? And yet you look so fluffy.
She's that too.
Well, that's fairly obvious, but I'll take her word for it. As we talk slowly and Dusk types.
I know, isn't my fur gorgeous? But yeah, I just punch the ogres and stuff.
My. Leosin, you didn't tell me. And Leosin's like, yes.
She also jumped on a blue dragon's face.
A blue dragon's face.
And then her brother over here, he feared it away.
Frightened a dragon.
Full grown and all.
Just,
This one. With
That
the
was so
glasses.
fun. Oh my god.
he'll just
Ew.
adjust his glasses and nod.
Had I known, would you like to stay for a tourney? We have a little
What?
time. Tourney. A contest.
Is
Leos is like, Onther, we need them downriver. Well, yes, but boats are quick. Onther, we need them downriver. But,
Wait, what kind of contest?
Yes.
well,
So I suppose this is a bad time to mention that you wrestled a blue dragon kin, right? And she looks at Joey, just kind of like quietly but easily heard.
Yeah, that's why I made the comment about it being boring when you're not wrestling in a square of fire.
Yeah, and he pushed him right into the fire and held him down in there. Oh, it was brilliant.
Square of fire. That sounds excellent. We should do that. We'll take passes at lances. Square of fire. What else? What else should we do? And looks between you.
Like,
Go.
and I'm hearing what he's saying, and like I'm nodding and smiling, but kind of inside Joey's like, this is not like you're fighting, but not for like your life. What's the point?
Well,
Like it's kind of ugh.
Well, what we'd like to do, if you choose, would you consider becoming members of our organizations or working mercenary? Either way, Leosin's, I would like them in with the Harpers. Yes, well, I would like them in with the Lord's Alliance. We can't all have what we want.
You hear that, guys? Now people are fighting over us.
That's pretty cool, you know, after years of being an unwanted burden.
Shh, we don't talk about that anymore. It's the Sovereign Seven.
Sorry.
It's
in
a
the
terrible name. They gotta really change that name. Unwanted Burdens.
They're from the Warren. Well, yes, they're from the Warren. Well, maybe they belong in the Harpers.
Oh God.
And you
think
expect
we
us
would
to
try
help
to-
you.
Well, we can
Seriously?
certainly-
That was incredibly rude.
I meant
Yeah?
no offense by it, but the Lord's Alliance has a reputation to
Yeah?
uphold, and the Warren has a bit of a reputation too.
Hey, well, at least you didn't catch us taking on 8 people outside of a bar fight for a fun afternoon. We spend
Would
our
you like to-
times doing
Surrounded
more
by a bunch of
things like
men?
actually rescuing people and shit.
Uh,
But that's cool. Your Lord's Alliance is too good for us. That's fine. We got it. Leosin, you got us, okay? Well, at least you got me. Not speaking for the rest of them, because we're all, in charge of each other. Or, ourselves. You know what I mean.
well,
Do we know anything about Leosin's organization? What was it called?
the Harpers. So sure, let's find out. How about a history check? I need one person to do the roll. If anybody wants to back that in a bit of conversation. Though, if you do back that conversation, this discussion would be out loud rather than in the head.
I have a 3 to history.
I have a 3 to history.
I'll assist you.
Okay, fire it up.
Okay. Okay, so history. There we go. 23.
Wow. Okay, you know more than I can actually bring to mind right now. But the basic gist, and you're like, the Harpers, yes. They were originally just a small band of bards that got together and were kind of do-gooders. They did some great things that you know about, and then they sort of faded from the public eye, but at the same time, the organization expanded to a larger group of do-gooders that operated a little bit outside of the law. They have a bit of a reputation for popping up, knowing things, influencing stuff, and then fading back away. Most of the Harpers don't declare that they're Harpers. Leosin, you wouldn't have seen that harp that he wears unless he pulled it out and showed it to you. Whereas Onthar from the Lord's Alliance has his badge slap smack on the middle of his breastplate. There he is. It could be argued which group gets more done, but being a Harper would definitely get you some ins in certain cities, ins meaning inroads in certain cities, if you learn the hand signals, if you walk the walk and talk the talk.
Just to make it clear, Chloe would be like not signing up for the Harpers, but she would be like, "I'll work with you, Leosin. Screw you, Onther, for being a little bastard." Pun intended.
Waverly likes both of them, but the Harpers are probably more her style.
Okay.
Do we all have to pick the same thing?
Nope. Some of you can just say, "Hey, I want out." This is a hey. We'd love to have you. We'd love to say that you're an initiate Harper, Harper in training. But we understand sometimes we just have to hire help.
Well, I mean, like, I'm not signing up for shit, so, like, pay that cash out, Leosin.
Joey, I appreciate your directness and the efficiency with which you accomplish your goals. We will certainly see you well paid. You did receive the platinum I left behind for you and the horses.
We did.
Chloe will
Yes.
see Joey hesitating to answer that and be like, "Yes, we received it." Nudge.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. So you do have horses already. What we intend to do is arrange for a boat to take you down to Baldur's Gate. That should put you ahead of the caravan that the cultists have put together to move the goods. What we hope you'll be able to do is re-engage them in Baldur's Gate, hire on perhaps as guards, or simply travel alongside them. See where they're going. We don't know where their base of operations is, other than they're all heading west at this point. They've left behind a large number of goods, keeping only the finer treasures with them, so there are fewer carts now than there were, and we're afraid if they scatter, one or two agents would not be able to follow them. Learn all you can, of course, but don't put yourself in danger doing so. You're more use to us and worth to us alive and reporting than dying heroically. Others like, well, like dying heroic? No.
Let's not die heroically.
And we're all like, no.
Not planning on dying heroically.
Pass.
No.
But we could charge them.
No.
And he takes another gulp of wine. Well, so, as for pay, 100 platinum pieces for each of you for following this to its end, finding the destination, and reporting back. You, of course, have the horses, and we'll arrange for boat travel, lodging, and any assistance we can provide along the way, though I must caution you, you cannot reveal any of the other Harper agents, so subtlety.
Telaise looks down at Waverly.
What? What? I can be subtle if I want to. Come on.
Then you need to want to all the time. The whole time.
Fine. It's fine.
So get your
No.
chance, Danger Mouse.
Now, I appreciate that you've come this far, and I'm sorry to send you on without a chance for you to return home. First, is there any word I should send back to any loved ones you've left behind? Any messages?
Is that did a collective giggle just go up through the group?
Yeah.
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 That'll be a deep
Yeah.
chuckle from Joey.
And Don just like raises a brow, like, right.
I think we're good.
Oh, well.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess if we wanted to write up a will, this would be the town to do it in.
I suppose if you'd like to, they do take their wills rather seriously here. Onther, how long is yours? I'm about as thick as my arm. but yes, I'm certain we can assign a lit gate to you to assist you with that.
That sounds expensive.
Well, they do have several rather good deals about it. They can write themselves into the will as a method of payment, though that's usually reserved for people who have estates more concrete than you appear to if you have no loved ones or possessions left behind to worry over. But
We'll just leave
yes.
word with Dusk's friend Ruby. Yeah, that's fine. She's one of them lids.
Oh, well, wonderful. Then you already have one who can work with you. So, if you're quite ready, we could set out and have the boats ready for you as early as tomorrow. That would give you a day to enjoy the town. It's not really to my taste, but some people do like it. Onthar's like, this is the best town.
What makes it the best town to you exactly? I'm just curious. You don't strike me as a paperwork kind of guy.
It's not the paperwork, it's the people. Elturel, as all cities, came from nothing. It was built on the reputation and the adherence to law of the High Rider and his Hell Riders. They brought order to the entirety of the fields of the dead. They patrolled from Elturel as far south as Dusk, as far west as Baldur's Gate, north to the Troll Claws, and east near to Skull Gorge and Darkhold. The city was built on the hard work and dedication and bravery of men and women who stood for what was right. What you see today is the decay of that dream. This paperwork and nonsense built up over generations of inept leadership. But we have a new High Rider. He will straighten this out. He needs assistance doing that, and that is why I am here in my order of the Gauntlet to assist him. His Hell Riders are the finest in living memory among dwarf, elf, and human. Elturel will rise again from the ashes of its own paperwork.
Yeah, it seems they're kind of clinging on to that dead law thing through paperwork. Anyway, who is this new High Rider? What's his name?
Lord.
I'm sorry, you got something caught in your throat. What was that? And she like, is starting to write on one of the brochures.
Darn.
Come on. AEIOU was so imaginative, Casey.
Yes, but he actually has a name. And
I'm sorry, you said his name was Harumph. Okay, got it.
Lord Harumph. I forget.
Just when you think the names can't get more pretentious.
It doesn't matter what you name him now. That's what we're going to refer to him as forever.
Change his name.
Lord Harumph. Yes. He's a well-respected young leader. I can't find his name. I think it starts with a D. I'm going to go with Denon because I think that's close. But yes, the Lord High Rider, as everyone respectfully refers to him, because it would be disrespectful to use his first name, is just recently taken the throne, and already improvements throughout the city. Why? The number of forms has dropped by a third in the last year.
Well, that's something to put on your resume. Yeah. He sounds fascinating.
Well, actually, the resumes have gotten considerably longer, but there will be trade-offs. So, with that said, it sounds like the party is reasonably prepared, unless, now, as I said, the boats are quite quick. Can I tempt you to stay just 2 more days and participate in the tourney?
What's the 20?
Well, we have the Square of Fire. We have the.
Which he just made up.
Well, no, it was an excellent idea by the fellow with the halberd. Joey, yes. We have the Square of Fire. We have some sort of dragon face riding.
Dragon face riding?
Yes, I'm not sure how to handle that. Perhaps you, young woman, would have some suggestions. I heard quite loudly that you were interested in face riding. Let's see. Shit.
And Casey earns the freaking moderate, like, make sure you're an adult before watching this stream button.
Oh, come on. That was subtle as nothing.
Oh God.
Yes, Dusk.
Yes, you did. You
yes,
heard
you
that.
very did.
Well, I lost it over that joke. Telaise was very cool and just shrugged. I'm like,
Fair enough. Well, of course, there'll be jousting and some sort of toss. I'd say Tabor, but I'd like for you, Waverly, to be able to participate. What are you good at throwing? Knives, axes?
I could throw some, some knives. I'm sure I
Yes.
could do that.
So some knife tossing. We'll come up with something catchy to call it. Wrestling, of course. Drinking, yes, that's a given. Let's see
Yeah.
here.
That all sounds fascinating, but I'm sure you had to fill out your application for the tourney 10 months ago, right? So, anyway, Leosin, where are we going? The boat? When did the boat leave?
Well, I can have the boat ready as early as tomorrow morning. We can be sailing down the Chauntea River towards Baldur's Gate. Once there, station yourselves. You should, I think, have at least 3 to 4 days to acclimate yourself to the city before you would need to keep your eyes or expect the caravan to arrive. Hopefully, you'll recognize some of them, if not, set out north and establish one. Now, you have some idea of the goods they carry, some of their faces you may be familiar with, and we will do what we can to indicate them, but they've spread out amongst the other carts and wagons traveling. It being spring, the road is quite busy.
So you said you're part of the Hoppers. I assume you guys have some kind of representation in Baldur's Gate. Of course, we won't. It's all on the, shh. But just in case we need to get some information, is there like a special handshake or a winky or something to find some of them
Yes.
in Baldur's Gate?
Yes, of course. Now, which of you were interested in joining the Harpers? We can only teach it to those who are interested in joining our organization.
I want to join.
Excellent. You see? There. And Onthar's like, well, yeah, I
mean,
like that one, but
I like you too, but I can only join one.
and we're the better ones. It sounds like we're not the better ones. We are. We got these.
Well,
Dawn?
he also didn't insult us to our face. Anyway, sorry, Dawn. What?
Yeah, he's just wants to ask, like, would you be willing to answer a few questions first?
Oh, of course.
Do you have access to libraries and information?
If you can get this girl a
Not even
library card,
this
boy,
city.
this
Not
kitty
even
a
just, like,
library
this city,
card.
but in general,
Well,
like.
Do you need a 42B?
No, we
I
got
don't
one of
care.
those. No, I think it looks like all
Well,
shiny with her picture on it. His picture on it.
In general.
We do have access to considerable libraries, but the real treasure of the Harpers is our oral tradition. We have more history in spoken word. Why did you laugh? That's not fair. I'm gonna lose it. We have more history in our songs, our stories, in our words, than in all the libraries put together. And we'd be happy to start you on the road to learning that. But, of course, there is value in all knowledge. So we can point you towards some great repositories.
I think
Was
that's
there
a
anything-
yes.
He's a harper. He talks at length. Is there anything in particular that you're looking to find? Treasure maps are sketchy at best.
No, nothing like that. Yeah. He hesitates a moment, but then he'll be like, I'm looking for information on the origins of the thinking undead, how liches came to be, how vampires came to be. Not because I'm looking to become something like that. Other reasons entirely.
And as you start saying that, Arthur's like, see, I told you. He just wants to learn. Glasses. Ignore him. Yes, we do have several treatises and stories on that. The majority are cautionary tales. Is there one that you wish to see undone? As you may have noticed, there's quite a bright light above our heads, and that itself is painful and destructive to the undead. If you have one captured, you can bring it here, expose it to that light, and it will do away with it.
No, I don't have
Thank goodness.
one.
Well, but we can certainly see you put on the right trail to the knowledge you seek. The thinking undead, the vampires, mummies, liches, they share a common trend of misuse of arcane magics. That is where most of their origins lie. Do you seek the histories of it, or do you seek knowledge of those arcane arts?
Probably both would be the most helpful. I need to learn everything I can.
Give me a quick persuasion, if you would. Yeah. Well, I can certainly turn you on to the histories. That's safe enough. And if you learn that well, that should guard your mind against the temptations as you start to investigate the arcane.
Believe me, I have no temptations.
I would believe you if it were not for so many mages that had fallen to that same temptation in the past. Very few enter into such research thinking they will succumb to such. But that's dark tidings, and we'll put Onthar off his wine. Is there anything else we can do for you? Any other questions you might have for us?
Dawn does not.
Valandra will ask about what sort of like obligations or what joining them entails.
Well, as an initiate, as a new member, your obligations are actually quite simple. You keep your eyes and your ears open. If you see something that does not seem for the best for people, you pass that information along. Knowledge and the spreading of that knowledge is really the greatest weapon against those who would do evil. Once that knowledge is spread, if action is needed, instruction could be given. You can act as you think best, but have a caution doing so in the Harper's name. Ruining your own reputation ruins everyone's. And should you stray, we may have to pursue you, but that's a rare case. Very few Harpers get caught up in that sort of trouble. Hunter's like, Harpers get caught up in all the trouble. If you do advance and find that harping is to your liking, there are opportunities to work quite well. We do have representatives in some of the finest courts and governments. The equivalent to the Lord's Alliance. No. Yes. Anything else?
Does not seem so.
Very well then. So with that, it seems like at a price tag of 100 platinum pieces each, the sovereigns have been hired to pursue and report on the travels of the Cult of the Dragon as they head west and then presumably somewhere else from Baldur's Gate. The boats will be ready on the morrow. It doesn't seem like the tourney was all that interesting to them, but they do have a chance for a night's sleep and to make any additional inquiries they have for today. Maybe visit a library. We'll find out. We'll find out about that off screen, I think. And bring this one to a close. I apologize that I did not get a chance to use my DM reroll. I love having them, but I was critting the hell out of them.
Seriously.
Yeah, seriously.
I do hope everyone's having fun. We will wrap up the adventure at this point, and then it's on the river and down to Baldur's Gate next week. I'm going to go run downstairs, refill my water bottle, and then be back for some Tavern Talk for as long as folks would like to hang around. I will do a little bit of math and assign a little bit of experience because you guys did do some awesome stuff. I will ask you guys to start considering what you would like to recommend for your XP bonuses because you guys all did some really cool stuff, but I'm a very forgetful person, so make sure you mention that. Folks out there in the audience, if you would like to recommend stuff for the XP bonus as well, please feel free to do so, and I will catch up on that. James, yes, Dawn did use Rage a couple of times there. We'll get caught up from there. All right, I'm going to mute. I'll be back in a little bit. Thank you, guys.